World Cup will begin from October 5 when the first and the final match will be played out at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmadabad. The Congress and AAP now alleging discrimination over the scheduling and questioning why no games for Punjab and Kerala. Karishma now joining us for more on that. Yes, Karishma.
Well, it's absolutely, Pranesh. Punjab hasn't gotten any games. As far as Kerala is concerned, it hasn't gotten any games. Thiruvananthapuram and Guwahati have been kept as venues, are one of the 12 cities that are going to be hosting the World Cup matches. But yes, Thiruvananthapuram and Guwahati are likely to be hosting the practice games and not any of the main matches and not any of the India matches as well. And that is why Sashi Tharoor also questioning this deal by the BCCI and asking that yes, Ahmadabad may be an up-and-coming sports city in India, but why not give some matches to Kerala as well, which is also a sports hub. Mohali also was expecting a couple of matches, but did not get any. In fact, it is not even in the list of shortlisted venues, and that is why the Punjab sports minister condemning the exclusion of Punjab from the list of venues that is going to host World Cup matches. Remember, the BCCI Secretary Jay Shah today earlier in an event had said that they have chosen these venues keeping in mind that they want to showcase the rich cultural diversity of India, and they want to ensure that the format of one-day internationals, the format of 50-over cricket remains alive, and that is why, keeping in mind all of that, these 12 cities have been chosen, and India is going to play all its 9 matches in separate cities with semi-finals scheduled in Mumbai.
And just hold your thoughts. We'll talk about it in detail, but reactions coming in. This is the Punjab minister speaking out.
Sashi Tharoor ji, पहली गल तो बड़ी खुशी है कि एक होर वर्ल्ड कप ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਦਾ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਕੱਪ ਦੇ ਮੈਚਸ ਹੋਣੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਕੇਡਿਊਲ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਕਹ ਲੋ ਬੜੇ ਮੰਦਭਾਗਾ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਉਹ ਸੂਬਾ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਇਸ ਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਖਿਡਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਦਾ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ 5 ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਚ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਰਲਡ ਕੱਪ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਂ 96 ਦੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਕੱਪ ਦਾ ਸੈਮੀਫਾਈਨਲ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ 'ਚ ਹੋਇਆ 2011 ਦੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਕੱਪ ਦਾ ਸੈਮੀਫਾਈਨਲ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ 'ਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਐਤਕੀ ਸੈਮੀਫਾਈਨਲ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਮੈਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਰਿੰਦਰ ਮੋਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਅਹਿਮਦਾਬਾਦ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਮੈਚ ਵੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਓਪਨਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੈਚ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਈਨਲ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਵਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਵਾਂਢੀ ਸੂਬਾ ਹਿਮਾਚਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਪੈਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ
Karishma, what are some of the factors that are considered when the scheduling and the list of venues decided?
Well, Pranesh, all stadiums that have been selected have to meet certain international standards set by the International Cricket Council. Remember, if we talk about the Lucknow Stadium, for example, the Ikana Stadium, it hosted IPL matches, and it wanted to be considered for hosting World Cup matches. It had to completely dig its pitch. The entire surface in the Lucknow Stadium has been relayed, and that is why it was considered for ICC World Cup matches. We cannot have stadiums that are not up to the mark, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's the pitches, or whether it's
I asked you that question, Karishma, because and Meenakshi also joining us with a tweet by Sashi Tharoor, is that Mohali had hosted World Cup semi-finals in 1996 and 2011. Siddharth Talia also joining us on the broadcast. Meenakshi, let's first play out what Sashi Tharoor has tweeted.
Well, absolutely, Pranesh, without much ado, let's take our viewers through the tweet which has been put up by Sashi Tharoor. Sashi Tharoor, just like Punjab, also hitting out, saying and questioning why Thiruvananthapuram has not been included in the list of the schedule as a venue. Now, he says, and I quote, disappointed to see that Thiruvananthapuram Sport Hub, hailed by as many as the best cricket stadium in India, is missing from the World Cup 2023 fixture list. He goes on to say that Ahmadabad is becoming the new cricket capital of the country, but could a match or two not have been allotted to Kerala? So very similar grievances are being espoused by Sashi Tharoor, like the ones which we heard from Punjab. Ahmadabad winning the marquee matches seems to be really the eyesore as far as Kerala and Punjab are concerned.
So, no surprises there. Thanks a lot, Meenakshi, for taking us through that tweet. Shashi Tharoor putting that tweet out. He's, after all, the Member of Parliament from Thiruvananthapuram. But coming back to you, Karishma, we did point out the fact that in 1996 as well as 2011, the two World Cups that have taken place in India in the past, Mohali did host the semi-final between West Indies and Australia in 1996, between India and Pakistan. That was an epic clash. In 2011, we, of course, went on to win the World Cup that year. Why has Mohali been excluded?
Absolutely. Mohali Stadium has hosted some of the epic clashes in ICC tournaments whenever the tournaments have been hosted in India. But this time around, of course, BCCI deciding, one, that they wanted to reduce the logistical expenses for all the teams. It does take a lot of time and travel for the teams to go from one city to another. So one, of course, was the logistics of it all to exclude the Mohali Stadium. And second, like I'm talking about infrastructure, BCCI wanted to choose the best stadium available, because this is not a bilateral series. This is a ICC tournament. This is going to be a multi-nation tournament where you're going to have the top 10 teams in the world come in and compete for the coveted ICC trophy, and that is why BCCI decided.
I need to interrupt you there, Karishma. We also have Mr. Kirti Azad, of course, part of the World Cup winning team in 1983, joining us. Mr. Azad, we have some reactions coming in from both Punjab as well as Kerala that their respective venues have been excluded from the list of venues for the 2023 World Cup in India. Your response, sir?
What response do you want from me? They have said, so now what is your question?
My question is, do you believe that a venue like Mohali, which has hosted two World Cup semi-finals in the past, ought to have been excluded from the final list of fixtures?
Exactly, it shouldn't be. It's basically, everything is done on seniority. I speak as a cricketer for whatever little experience that I have had. You have the founding members of the BCCI of 1929, and one of them is DDCA, and you have a game which is against Afghanistan. Mohali is one of the oldest stadiums that we have, and it's a traditional stadium where we should have had a game. Talking about Trivandrum, yes, that's been there for a very long time. It's got very good facilities. They basically see the facilities, they see the seniority of the stadiums, and that is how it is done. It is unfortunate just because you have Narendra Modi Stadium, which used to be a Sardar Patel Stadium, is getting two important games. So obviously questions are going to be raised, because much senior to the Sardar Patel Stadium, you have the Mohali, the Trivandrum, the Delhi. Delhi is one of the founding members of the BCCI. So obviously these questions are going to be raised, because you see the seniority and you see the facilities that are there in the stadium.
Mr. Azad, just as a follow-up to that, do you believe there could be political motives at play? Is that what you're alleging when you're raising questions about the fact that a significant number of fixtures in the final draw that has been put out will be held at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad?
Well, it has to be equally distributed, and matches which are important. There are going to be about 11 or 12 important games. They should have been equally distributed, first to the founding members, and secondly to those who are the senior stadiums with facilities. So obviously it shows that somebody has sat there and arbitrarily he has decided everything and given everything on a platter to the Narendra Modi Stadium, which actually used to be a Sardar Patel Stadium in Ahmedabad.
Okay, Mr. Kirti Azad, thank you so much for your perspective. Of course, Mr. Kirti Azad, part of the World Cup winning team in the year 1983, the first time that we won the World Cup, of course, going on to win again 28 years later in 2011. We'll turn our attention now to politics, and this is